think I'm perfect.
Perfect, perfect, perfect.
It's just perfect.
Perfect, perfect, perfect.
I'm perfect.
Yo guys, what's up? It's Mike, and in this week's video, I'm going to be talking about the difference between, socially and physically being a girl and a guy. A major thing that I've struggled with is kind of picking which is best, and I kind of looked at it more on a general spectrum than just what's best for me personally and what makes me a happier person. And this kind of led me to YouTube, and I started watching videos about, what men think is best about being girls, or what girls think is best about being a guy. A lot of the guys just said, more variety in clothing. You don't have to approach guys the way that, society makes guys approach women. Women don't have to pay the bill. Or that women are more sexually complex, so they have, like, lingerie, and, guys sometimes just feel like they're there. Some other things are, that women smell better naturally. No one really sexually judges women the way men can be judged for, their bodies. And some other things that guys also kind of thought about were customer service is better, people are just more sympathetic towards women, and that women get into clubs much easier than men. Some things that guys thought that weren't great about being a girl was they get less pay, everything that goes along with the reproductive system, and the stereotypical men's definition of women. So now I'm going to talk about, how women see it, what's great about being a guy, or what sucks about being a guy. Some things that girls mentioned were guys don't have to wear shirts, and it's pretty acceptable. They don't have to deal with their period, they don't have to breastfeed, guys can pretty much pee anywhere they want. There's no major pregnancy scares or having to deal with, pushing out a heavy baby out of, any areas of your body. Guys don't have to buy crazy lingerie that's wicked expensive, because only a woman really knows how much lingerie is. And lastly, guys really don't have to worry about predators in bars. It's much more likely that a woman is going to get taken advantage of than a man. Not to say that it doesn't happen, because it does happen often, but, statistics show it's more likely for a guy to take advantage of a woman. So what are some cons about being a guy? Guys cannot show any expression besides anger. They have this, society's label of what's manly, and balls do not seem comfortable. I'm just going to put that out there. And one last thing, there is a major pressure for guys to, be muscular and to be as manly as possible, like I said before. So now I'm kind of just going to rant a little bit, just kind of put everything out there about, what I think is better, being a girl or a guy. Obviously I can't speak to how it feels to be, physically completely a male, but, socially living as one for the past, year? There's definitely a little bit of experience on some level. So, the first thing I want to talk about is makeup, because this is a huge deal for both men and women. We find that women spend a long time putting makeup on, they spend a lot of money, and they put a lot of effort into it. Now, I don't think anyone's complaining that they don't, but something that women really forget is that makeup just highlights women in general, and a lot of women forget that men, socially and, society tells men that they can't do that, and I know men do. Some guys do prefer to wear makeup, but a lot of them don't, and whether that's because they don't want to, or whether that's because society tells them they can't, it doesn't really matter. But it does suck, if a girl is a 6, all of a sudden she's like an 8 with makeup, and then guys are kind of just stuck at like the 4.2. I know it kind of seems that, being a woman, have to spend money and time on makeup kind of sucks, but in some ways it kind of doesn't. I don't know, to me it kind of seems like both sides has an argument and it's kind of even. So the next thing I want to talk about is the reproductive system and kind of everything that goes on down there. Women have to deal with periods once a month. Been there, done that. Never had a boner, obviously. But I can tell that, having them when you don't necessarily want them is probably very uncomfortable, and I'd say that kind of evens out the whole having a period once a month kind of thing. And then going off from there, let's be real, women experience menopause at some age, don't get their period anymore. I know menopause sucks, but they stop getting it, and then at some point a guy just can't get it up, and that probably sucks a lot too, so that's why I think it's pretty even. Another thing that I want to talk about is the pressures of the gym, for both male and female, because, there is a certain standard that society holds people to. They expect guys to have, six-pack abs and muscles, and, they still expect women to be pretty thin. Do they expect them to have, abs or anything? I would disagree with that, but your depiction of society is probably a lot different than mine. Guys have really high expectations, and I think that that's really where the makeup thing levels off, because, a guy has to spend this amount of time in the gym and has to look like this, and, and we raise girls to that level too, just with makeup also. So I think it pretty much balances off. They both pretty much sucks to have to go to the gym to spend time and money on makeup. Let's not hide the fact that gym memberships can cost a lot, and other extra activities, like whether you, box or CrossFit or all these other things that, you have to pay a fee for. Now the next thing is really touchy topic, but I'm going to tackle it anyways. The wage gap. So there's a lot of talk about the wage gap, and that women make less money. I don't think, there is a lot of talk about people saying that the wage gap isn't true and all of this stuff. I'm not going to disprove it because I don't know everything about the topic, but personally from, what I've seen and what I've heard, it kind of sounds like it depends on the profession that you're in, and I'm sure it's much harder for a woman to get, as high up as men can, and it's a lot harder for women. But I think it's also a big thing about what profession you're in. I could see that, stereotypes would show that someone in a big office firm would want a man sitting there in the office, opposed to, a babysitter would want their nanny to be a woman. There is this huge thing, and obviously, the guy in the business firm is probably making a lot more money, so is it really that weird that, a mom or father wouldn't want someone who's caring and compassionate to, teach their kids, because, the way kids are raised really has an effect on, who they become and who, they grow up to be. I don't know, dude. Those were a few things that came to mind when I was really thinking about, what's better to be a girl or a guy, and it really doesn't seem to be better on each side. Life is really difficult either way, and I think that, society has a long way to go, and, there's going to be a point where hopefully the wage gap isn't a thing anymore, and there's going to be a point where men are able to, show their emotions the way that women can, because, you see a guy cry, it's the end of the world. You see a girl cry, and it's just another Tuesday to society. So, there is a long way to go. And socially living as both, it's been really, really crazy. You'd be surprised. It's one of the hardest things that I've had to deal with is being seen as a cisgender male is really shitty. People see you as this asshole, in a way, I guess. And, to think that people would look at me and disregard any experiences that I've been through, saying that I am privileged and haven't had to, fight for anything and don't understand anything. It's really hard to think that people look at you that way. And we don't have a lot of men talking about mental health, and I think that that's a really big thing that we need to start doing. It's not going to change overnight, but, at some point, something needs to change. So yeah, if you were looking for, what was better and what wasn't, I really don't have anything for you. Life kind of sucks, and We just kind of, you know, take the good stuff along the way. But yeah, I'm sorry I don't have which is better for you, because I really think that it comes down to, you know, what you make of it. If you're gonna sit and mope about being a girl, if you're gonna sit and mope about being a boy, your life's gonna suck. There's no way around it. Your life's just gonna suck. And I think once you start to look at, you know, what's good about you, what you can bring to this world, is when, you know, a lot of things are gonna change, and it's really hard to be a good person if you don't see yourself as one. So go out there, share your story, tell people who you are, just so people know that, look, not everybody in this world is shitty, because there are a lot of shitty people out there. But anyways, I know I posted a video earlier in the week about dyeing my hair, so I don't know. I just felt like I should post something else. Something that gets my opinion out there, because I just feel like I've been so quiet, and like, I don't know, I think that there's so much space for discussion, for changing people's opinions, and really, you know, because you could say one thing and change the way one person sees something, and then it's just gonna, you know, it's just gonna affect everything else. And I think it's really important to talk about stuff like this. So if you guys like this video, maybe want to see more, let me know. You know, like, comment, subscribe, whatever. Do your thing. And if not, I'm going to just make some videos anyways. So I'll see you guys next week, and have a good one.